Welcome to Dallas, the home of the killers. Welcome to Dallas, the sharks and gorillas. The girls, they going harder than Welcome to Dallas, we lost some legends. Welcome to Dallas, what hood you reppin'?
Hola, 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 ¿cómo estás? It's Poofy Man back in the house with another episode of the Poofy Man podcast. Season 2, episode 3, let's get it. So, God, it's time for a new candle. Anyways, so, as you may have seen, Christopher Nolan, the famous director who's been behind some of a decade and a half of Hollywood blockbusters like Oppenheimer, Dunkirk, Dark Knight Rises, Interstellar, Inception, the list goes on and on and on. A very competent, very accomplished and experienced director, member of the production team in Hollywood behind these movies. And this new one that just was released called The Odyssey. So there's been a big stir about, a lot of people are a little enraged about this bastardization of a human epic. That it's like a bastion of humanity. The original Odyssey, if you don't know, which is totally fine, was written by a famous Greek historian / literary genius named Homer. He went by one name, obviously, just like Michelangelo and Leonardo da Vinci. Well, that's, Michelangelo at least, and Prince, and everyone else. I guess that just runs in our fucking blood. I don't know what it is. Anyways, and this tale is basically about a historical non-fiction event that we now know actually happened. And it's about a king named Odysseus who fought in the front lines during the Trojan War and is now struggling on his way home to reunite with his family and to cut down the usurpers that were vying for his power and his seat of power while he was gone. There's monsters, there's fantasy, there's blood, guts, there's lovemaking, there's mystery, there's all those good things, right? The original Odyssey is a great piece of work, and it's also, just a little fun fact, it's so iconic that we have used it to define the hero's tale. The rise and fall of a hero as far as a literary device for more than 2,000 years as a result of this piece of work. So, very important literary work that Christopher Nolan has decided to, in 2026, to just basically crumble up and just kind of like light on fire or wipe his ass with and just kind of like throw it in the garbage or whatever, for whatever reason. And that whatever reason, of course, the only one I can think of is 2026 politics is somehow important enough, right? The stance, the position to defend trans rights or whatever is somehow more important to human history than this 2,500-year-old epic poem, right? And the integrity of it. So let me get into it a little bit. So Elliot Page, who was a pretty girl with a vagina and just no more than 10 years ago. Very normal, very pretty good actress. Had a lot of a good tall future in front of her. She was a shining, young, blooming actress. At some point, she decided she was going to go ahead and skin graft a piece of her arm into and then jam it into her, sew it on, and then chop her off and do a bunch of crunches. And now she's a man, apparently, because that's all men are. Obviously, we're just a having human. there's no nuance. There's no dynamic angle at all. It's just that obtuse, obviously. That's all we amount to, right? No layers there. Dickless. Just dick, right? Apparently. So it's more important to put this 2026 trending political position, jam that into the original sequence of writing and the original story of the Odyssey. Because who Elliot Page plays, of course, is the character that is analogous with the historical warlord Achilles, of course. Achilles, I mean, it's both, it's a little bit of myth and legend, but perhaps, I don't know. I wasn't there. They say he was imbued with, half blood of a god, of a Greek god. He's like a demigod, put on this earth with one purpose: to smite men down and to win wars for countries. And that's what he did in the Trojan War. So who should we get to play that? Oh man, Brad Pitt played it in Troy, very jacked, looked great. Great lighting, great hair, great pecs, great abs. Incredible. That was just like peak Brad Pitt, no homo. But I'm just saying there's so many people we can pick. I think the best one's Elliot Page, though. Yeah, the little lesbian girl. Yeah, no, she's not very. No, she's very small. She's very frail. She's a girl. She's a girl. So she's bird-like, and she's very, very. She's emboldened, and she's got. She has. We all have to respect that, and she's very pretty. She's a pretty little girl with a now, so it works, guys. And it also will play so well with the LGBTQ crowd. It's like, why the fuck would Christopher Nolan need to do that? Why the fuck would Christopher Nolan, right, after doing Dunkirk, Oppenheimer, I've seen both, I love both these movies. He didn't sacrifice the true story of Oppenheimer for some political nonsense. Like, if you want to do some political charade, why don't you make a political movie about what's going on? That's an idea. Hey, and it's original too. You don't have to fucking steal the fucking manuscript. You don't have to just use the other person's great writings and pawn it off as your own with a little twist. With a fucking, reverse fucking lesbian girl. So, but here's another part about it though. As an artist, okay, this is what I do I do nothing but execute creative ideas, right? Conceive creative, pieces of work, whether it's, graphic design and stuff like that, right? Art, or making music. I've devoted my life to it, okay? If you don't know, that's what I do. I'm a music producer, and I do, that's what I do. And artist. I could never imagine, not ever, being so dickless and so spineless as to compromise the integrity of my vision, right? To secure some extra ancillary funding for, better special effects, or, compromise the integrity of my message, or, my work, whatever it looks like. I would never, ever be such a pussy to do that. And here we are again, in season 1, we talked about how important it is to raise your kids with a backbone. And yes, some people are born A-type personalities with the ability, with the impulse to run into, controversy or conflict. And there's probably people that aren't. but you can learn it. You can teach it. You can make your kids aware of it. This seems to be a Christopher Nolan. He's like a nexus that now we can see the before and after, like a call and response thing. You know, perhaps he was grandfathered into the pussy age or something. Anyways, you know, why is it relevant? Why is it significant to hire Elliot Page over some other great, maybe even Greek national actor, right? Who's dying to get a chance, who's been keeping himself in shape and all this stuff for this exact role. And now they're like, yeah, you look exactly like Achilles, but you that's a natural. Ooh, sorry about that. Anyways, drop your fucking comments. Poofy Man, I'm out of here. Whew.
Welcome to Dallas, the home of the killers. Welcome to Dallas, sharks and gorillas. The girls, they going harder than Welcome to Dallas, we lost some legends. Welcome to Dallas, what hood you reppin'?